Yeah, wrestling time again, everyone. Night of Champions 2015 was last night. It was my second ever pay-per-view, and because people seem to enjoy my newcomers perspective on SummerSlam, I decided it might be cool if I did another one of these. Obviously, a lot has changed since my last pay-per-view. I got a piece of wrestling memorabilia now. Yeah, totally did. So with that in mind, let's run down the card, shall we, of this big pay-per-view event where all the titles are going to be on the line and where everything's going to change hands. It's crazy.
So I'm just going to skip on over the pre-show because I get the feeling that's what most people did anyway. FYI, if you really care, I love the idea of Stardust taking his supervillain gimmick to the next level and actually having full-on henchmen. Plus, God knows the Ascension weren't exactly doing anything, so it's a good fit. The first official match of the night was surprisingly one that I felt was really early on in the show, and that was the Intercontinental title match, Kevin Owens versus Ryback. Why are these two fighting? Well, Big Mean Kevin Owens made fun of The Secret, Ryback's favorite self-help book. No, really. Geez, maybe next time these two can feud over Game of Thrones spoilers or something. Now, a lot of people don't like Ryback, and other people I work with certainly don't like him. They say he's not safe in the ring, that, he may very well be abusing performance enhancers, that he's bad on the mic. And all the same, he's received a massive push going into this match after even beating the champ Rollins. So you can bet I was pleasantly surprised to see Kevin Owens walk away the victor in what would be the first of two big moments for Canada during the show. I'm looking forward to the story implications of this victory. Owens now having a belt, you thought he was full of himself before. Imagine what he'll be like now. Love him or hate him, Owens is unlike anyone else currently wrestling, and this definitely makes for a good footnote in what I can only imagine will be a long career. Next up, we have Rusev versus Ziggler, and wow, this was a depressing one, folks. No, not from a physical point of view. Both guys actually gave it their all in a match worthy of a pay-per-view. No, I'm talking about the abysmal storyline at play here. A love triangle between Ziggler, Lana, and Rusev Summer Rae that is already super played out this many months, and it's a storyline that can't even come to a proper melodramatic close either, because Lana, the most important one, is out with a hand injury currently. What we were left with was a match that honestly made everyone involved look bad. Rusev looks like a comedy heel now, or if not, he's certainly going in that direction. Ziggler looks like a total sleaze, even having Lana on his crotch. Seriously, who okayed that one? And Summer Rae, well, Summer Rae just kind of looks dumb as hell, costing Rusev the match with a thrown shoe. Who throws a shoe, honestly? Will she now be the next one to be dumped by Rusev for costing him the match? Who's to say? I'm recording this on Monday, so I haven't seen Raw yet. After that was the landmark tag team match with the fan favorites and lovable heel team of the New Day taking on the beloved face Dudley Boyz in what was the first of many of Night of Champions' many old school meets new school style matches. Xavier Woods came out looking like Rufio from Hook. They sang, they danced, they fought, they got disqualified, but got to hang on to their titles. Heck, for a second there, it looked like they would do their own table spot only for it to get turned on them. Super feel-good match, something I'm sure you don't hear people say very often. Following that was the Big Divas match. They put the team junk on hold for a second so Charlotte and Brie could have a mostly one-on-one match. The big angle here was Charlotte had a bad knee but powered through it to defeat heel Brie and stop her from breaking a record. Also, Charlotte's dad, the legendary Ric Flair, was also in attendance, so some heartstrings were plucked for good measure. Say what you want about the ultra macho and masculine way that wrestling presents itself, they do love a good schmaltzy angle. Now, as I keep stating, I'm new to the whole wrestling thing, so I guess this was one of the better Divas matches I've seen. I'm trying not to be one of those cliche people who go, oh, Divas match, time for, a piss break or a food break or something, but I guess this one had some story hooks, which is always good. The big mystery going into Night of Champions was, of course, who would Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns pick as their third man for their big match against the Wyatt family. Turned out it was Toronto's favorite son, Y2J. Yep, that's right, Chris Jericho. Well, I certainly didn't see that coming. That was unexpected. And even as a newcomer to wrestling, I, of course, know who Chris Jericho is. Like I said, dude's practically Canadian royalty. What's even more unexpected is, despite the celebrity guests, the good guys ended up losing. Big strong man, Braun Strowman, is just that unstoppable. Makes sense for them to win. The Wyatts are now officially out of their villainous tailspin that they've been stuck in, but it's all kind of a band-aid. Eventually, Braun will get beaten, and when he does, poor Luke and Bray are right back to where they started. This match also made for an awesome moment wherein a crazy fan stormed the stage before getting tackled by security. Finally, we reached the tail end of the show and the much-touted back-to-back Seth Rollins title matches. First was the Cena bout, which I'm not gonna lie, felt very similar to the SummerSlam match. Lots of lifts, lots of kickouts, and you know the dance by now. It also strikes me like there's two very distinct Seth Rollins out there. There's Raw Rollins, who's, a sneaky snake in the grass who needs help winning. And then there's pay-per-view Rollins, who is very impressive and very athletic, and, a guy who you kind of can't help but respect. It's a lot of dissidence going on. Rollins loses to Cena, like I think we all thought he would, and gets dragged back into the ring for the big heavyweight title match with Sting tired and hurt. Perhaps the best spot of this match is when Seth has the chance to run away, but doesn't. He may still be the quote-unquote bad guy, but he's choosing to be a better class of bad guy, so, good on him for beating up a considerably older man who may very well have had brain damage. Sting sustained major head trauma on the poor unfortunate Spanish announce table, which means Rollins can rally and win, reclaiming his championship that much longer. But oh wait, Sheamus was already waiting in the wings to exploit the situation for his own gain, only to have his hijack in turn be hijacked by the return of mask-wearing Kane, which got a huge pop from the fans and left everyone feeling really happy. Everyone involved managed to look strong and or get put over, as the lingo may be, and we get a really good little stinger to take us into tonight's Raw.
And so, that was Night of Champions 2015, my second pay-per-view ever. Overall, I liked it a lot more than SummerSlam. There was a lot of diversity in matches. Like I said, there was a nice little old school meets new school thing going on that I appreciated, especially as a newcomer who's really trying to learn the history and learn the lore. I thought that was quite helpful. A lot more clean wins, which I appreciated. There wasn't so much controversy going on there. No one picked up a chair. There was no last-minute run-ins from Jon Stewart, as much as I would have liked that. Actually, there was a real Inception-y moment when Night of Champions mentioned the Emmys that were going on and that Jon Stewart and The Daily Show won an award. That kind of did my head, and I'm just like, oh no, friggin' live event TV Inception. What's going on here? Yeah. Overall, I did enjoy it, and it's another step in my wrestling fandom. And I guess I'll close out this video by asking everyone out there, at what point do I stop being a newcomer in the world of wrestling? And I guess that could go for any fandom as well. Does, being a newcomer end at my first Mania, which is like the big wrestling event? Does it end after my first live performance, like actually going to see a show? Does it end after buying a piece of merchandise, which I now have thanks to the great people over at 80s Tees, pluggy plug. So yeah, that's the video, everyone. I hope you liked it, hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to discuss down in the comments section. Until next time.